Hey, Tribe. Sorry, I had to help wifey with the groceries. Let's get this cracking. Let's get this cracking. Let's see. Hey, Miss Key Jones, Miss Jones, how you doing? Let me get my. Let's see. Let me get my. I guess what should I say? Pin message ready. Thanks for joining in. For joining me. Breakthrough crew. Let's see. You have any questions, Mrs. Jones, that I can help you with? Let me see. What you are you sipping? Are you sipping tonight? Are you drinking with me tonight? That's what I need to know. That's always my first question. What are you sipping on? Hey, coffee. Oh my god. Let me see. All right, there we go. All right, let me pin that to the top. Okay, you say you sipping coffee. I don't know what type of time zone you on right now. You know what? What's ironic is this was coffee this morning. Don't tell nobody else though. But this was coffee from this morning. I did reheat it. I didn't drink the rest of it because I had a Monster Energy drink instead. But I had this as backup, and I didn't start drinking it till this afternoon. Drunk half of it, put in the rest in the microwave this evening, and said I'm gonna finish this with my cigar. But I am still drinking though. I'm pouring up. Believe your boy got it tonight. You know what I'm saying? We will finish this. We started this last week. We're gonna finish it this week. All right, this is that French vanilla Ciroc. All right, it's that good stuff. So let's get this party started. Woo. Yeah, that's that heat right there. So I'm answering all cloud career questions that you have. If you're curious about the path that you're taking in tech, oh yeah, you got to try this flavor. It's really good. It's really good. It's been my favorite for years. Um, Great in the mornings as well. Need that extra joke, right? But yeah. So I'm answering all questions. If you have about what is about any type of route that you want to go in cloud technology, as you all know, I'm providing my specialty is cloud engineering and cloud security engineering, but I started off giving advice in all cloud sectors of careers because when I started getting into cloud engineering back in 2008, 18, I started discovering the many opportunities of options available, both technical and non-technical roles. So we had a great session last week. I felt answered a lot of good questions. So hopefully let's repeat that again. What time zone are you on, Miss Jones? You missed last week? Oh man. Oh man, we had so much fun. Yeah, I think you can go back and watch the live from last week when this went over, but we had so much fun. Oh man, it was so cool. The coolest part for me, and that thing sat with me for like a good 48 hours, was somebody said that their dad was a big fan of my content and wanted me to get their dad a shout out. I thought it was so dope. I don't know if it was a boy or girl, little boy or girl, but I know the dad's name was Poe. That's what I found out. So that really that filled my heart last week. That made me so happy. So I was like, man, that went so good last week. Let me try it again this week. So let's see. Let me post on my Twitter as well. Do you work in tech, Miss Jones? You in tech right now, or are you on a are you transitioning into tech? And just curious about where to start, or you already in your training? There we go. Get some more light going. I got to start doing this earlier in the day. I did this at 7, and the sun starts setting at 7, so it started to get a little dark. I'm gonna start doing this early in the day. I should have did it in the patio. I'm gonna get a lot. I'm gonna get. It's gonna become a whole thing. I'm gonna get lights and everything set up so that way you ain't gonna see me in my car no more at this crazy angle. But work with me. Train transitioning. CO. Oh, word. Black girl AI. Man, shout out to AI. Funny story about AI. So um, so back in, I would say, what was this? This was back in. It feels so long ago, but it actually was back in February. I want to say no, no, no. This had to be back in March or April. We had a meeting with Google Bard, well Google, and they had a meeting to talk to us about AI because they were trying to. We're one of the biggest, the largest customers, and we're Google. The company I work for is a Google partner, and they were talking about AI, and they gave me a lot of insight about AI, this whole AI thing. Aside from personal research I did on it, it was more so the thing that's going to be coming up next for the next, especially those, I would say in the next 8 years, is going to be a really hot, rising tech role. AI prompting, AI prompt engineering. Now, luckily, a lot of business owners like myself are already capitalizing on AI softwares. I'm gonna say new AI softwares, right? Because Excel is AI. We've been had AI since the 40s, but new AI softwares like Chat GBT, like uh, Google Bard, like even Canva has some AI features. So the thing about it, like business owners are finding out we're entering things into the prompt for outcome we want, right? So for a lot of my posts that instead of writing them all out, I write out the concepts and everything I want to do, and I put them into I plug the prompts into Chat GPT 4. I pay for the membership. It's like $20 a month, and it spits everything out. Well, the better you want your material to be, more customizable you want it to be, the better you have to get at prompt engineering, entering the entry to get a better output. So what companies are doing now is they're going to start hiring, and they already start hiring. I saw one job today go for $100,000. A private school was hiring for an AI prompt engineer, paying $100,000. It was crazy. I don't think it was full time, but they need people because a lot of people don't have time to sit here and learn a prompt and make sure they're entering the right words and terms and variables. And you have to use the comma and semicolon the right way to get a certain reaction. It's so much science to it that it's just it although it eliminates a lot of the mundane work a data entry person will have to do. It does create you do have to become a more technically inclined person to be able to enter prompts for the successful outcomes that you want. So especially when it comes to using third party plugins in those prompts as well. So I just wanted to speak on that. So that's she said the sauces and the prompts. I like that. Hey, they gotta go in the t-shirt, yo. They gotta go in the fitted cap. The sauce is in the prompts. You are not lying, yo. So that's cool, man. So like, what is it that y'all do at Black Girl AI? Tell me a little bit about it. I want to support. I'm always supporting Black women in business, and I'm damn sure always supporting Black women in tech. So, um, yeah, tell us a little bit about what it is, and if you could even put a link to it where everybody can check it out. Let's see. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't wait to get done with this coffee so I can go into my Coke. This Coke goes a lot better with vodka. I'm just putting that out there. All right, goes a lot better with vodka. But yeah, prompt engineering AI is where it's at. People, get scared of AI. It's gonna take jobs. They said the same thing about everything else. It said, you know, innovation while it occurs, is not the transformation to innovation isn't always as prompt as the invention appears, as when the invention first appears. So it's going to take a long time before AI integrates into all our society as far as it being a legitimized practice or legitimized tool and profession. Especially in the tech world, it's so much pushback against AI. I would say about 60% of the industry still pushing back, especially on the engineering side. The tech people, the non-technical people love it. The product managers, the TAMs, the people who don't have to worry about security side of it, they love it. But the engineers, due to especially if you work in healthcare or you work for the military or you work for anything that, especially in the credit industry, finance industry, you have to worry about PII, PHI compliance laws. Woo! Yeah, using implementing AI tools in your infrastructure is something that they strongly advocate against right now until there's just more compliance around it, more understanding of it. That's why you had Google executives speak out early on about it. They was just like, nah, we gotta, and even Elon Musk, like, nah, we gotta keep this under wraps. And we have to contain this beast, tame our excitement, But like now, and I'm gonna tell you even a little bit more story. I was doing some reading because that's what I do. Before I got on this call, about some AI news as well, how it's impacting the industry. Let me see. I'll drop the link. AI will not take jobs. We're still needed. Thank you. Know that we just have to be. You just have to not be afraid to just embrace it. Let me love that comment. Oh, can I? Okay, I can't do anything with it. But I love that comment that you just said. That so true. Embrace it, man. Embrace the change. Embrace the opportunities out there. Um. But oh yeah, the point I wanted to get to. So long story short, I don't, and I know I hate going on technical rants because one thing I learned even with tech people and people getting into tech, unless you're like a dead set engineer, you're not sitting around for a tech talk on the technical details, the intricacies of even the industry. More so people, especially people who follow my content, they come more for the surface level things, what opportunities are available in the cloud tech field, what type of training you should take, what type of certs are worthy, what kind of pay they should expect, how should they negotiate their offer letters, and how should they conduct the interviews, X, Y, and Z. But I'm just going to say I'm going to bore y'all a little bit with a little bit of technical news. So Google Google, Microsoft just earned about $56 billion in revenue to this point of this year, and most of that is due to Bing acquisition of ChatGPT, OpenAI. Because if you notice, if you ever go to Bing.com, you're going to notice it's going to have like an AI prompt that you can use. That's ChatGPT basically, and in fact, it'll tell you it's this ChatGPT that's assisting your search, the search engine, because they were the first ones to adopt an actual AI search engine company like ChatGPT. Now, keep in mind, there's tons of other AI companies out there, but ChatGPT is the top search engine AI tool. So Bing bought them, which is Microsoft. They bought them, and now and then it boosted their revenue to about 14%, because they were projected to be at, I think, 54 billion. They blew up to 56 billion in revenue so far. That's a lot of money. First of all, we talking about in 3 quarters practically. They've made $56 billion. That's one company. That's power. All right. Um, but I say that to say because now Google Bard is struggling to turn their Google is struggling to turn Bard, which is their AI tool, their competitor of Bing and ChatGPT, to turn that AI tool to profit, to release something public to the market, which they're hoping to do with Duet, by the way. Hey, Kenya, we sipping tonight? We sipping? We sipping? All right, I'm not gonna bore y'all too much, but I just wanted to say, I say all that to say, literally, uh, Microsoft is up 14% and made $56 billion. Not the whole 56, but 14% of that billion of 56 billion of that $56 billion, simply because they made public and have monetized their AI tool. That's how powerful these tools and things are. The problem is all this stuff is brand new to the market, and companies don't know how to monetize it. Companies don't know how to control it to where they can control the data private, where it doesn't break data privacy laws and all other sorts of things. So it's as much as it's scary, very exciting time right now in tech, to be in tech and get into tech. So I say all that to say, if you're one of the person that sit at the computer all day and you're in a data entry word role, or this is even great for those who are as secretaries or administrators, and you just really want a job where you can just do input all day and make great, fantastic money, go into AI prompt engineering. Hell, even, and I don't usually recommend Google certificates outside of their cloud certifications, but Google has a really good AI prompt engineering course. You can take these and you can really, the industry is so brand new. You can really take a course anywhere on AI prompting, get a certificate, um, create 3 projects from an AI prompting that you do, and literally walk in damn near any company who's hiring for AI prompt engineers and make automatic 6 figures. Now, I usually don't push that, oh, you can make 6 figures in your first tech role thing. But hey, with this AI prompt engineering thing, it's so white hot and it's so brand new, you could take advantage of the ignorance right now because you can get better and better at it on the job. But as long as you present certification, that's going to show you have some knowledge behind it, and then you present your and I've taken some of the courses on Google about AI, but more on the back end, ML library on the back end. It's the AI prompting isn't as complicated as you would even think at all, to be honest with you. But if you're a person that's used to dealing with Excel and Word, you can do AI prompt engineering. And if you're a person that be battling with people in the comments on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, you can do AI prompt engineering. I'm just saying that. You got a few, you got sips of wine? Oh, Kenya. Okay, Kenya. Okay, she got a few sips of wine in her. Okay. Loose as a goose. Don't get her started. All right. I mean, the next thing you about to do is light a candle. You hear me? She said she don't spike the wine. Oh no, she said she's sipping the wine. All right, what's your question? Can you shoot? Go ahead. Come on. I'm only really here for the questions. This is a Q&A. I just been talking because I've been waiting for y'all to get on. I gotta keep promoting this, and I probably just gotta keep doing this every week until people believe that I'm gonna consistently show up and do this, so more people can participate. But me and Miss Jones just been kicking it, just AI chopping it up. That's all. We just been kicking it. But go ahead and shoot. Hmm. Finish that up. Happy. 54. Nurse. 30 years. Hate nursing. But you did so well for 30 years. Want to transition to tech. How do I overcome the age thing? Good question. Really good question. I don't get this question a lot. Um, and I think it's just more so to do with the demographic that follows my content. Because they usually tend to be from 25 to 44. But that age thing is so beautiful. So I did an interview with Lawrence. Lawrence is my brother from Memphis. Not, you know, blood brother, but that's my brother, and we share the same journey and ambition. He basically started out. He was working in Dairy Queen up until his 40s, until he became a software engineer, and now he's a software engineer for self-taught software engineer for FedEx, right? And now he's doing all these speaking engagements all over the country. I'm so proud of him. He still does free speaking every week at some code camp they have for developers. But I say all that to say, um, when it comes to tech, that's the beautiful thing about tech. It's not vanity driven as other industries, especially on the engineering side. I'm trying to use my hand to block that light if you can tell, but especially on the engineering side, it's not as vanity driven. So a lot of those biases about ageism. I'm not saying that zero doesn't exist, but for the most cases, it doesn't exist. Most of the people that I work with are over there on my specific team. Again, I'm architect, so I'm more on the senior level, but they're 40 and up. You know, and in fact, most I would say overall, most of the engineers I've ever worked with in this industry have all been at least 40 and up. And I'm talking about from the level of just starting off. This is their first tech role to senior director level. Um, the thing about it is it's all in your mind. It's what really based on how do you want to apply yourself to learn. When you're 54, you're a lot more seasoned in life. You have a lot more understanding that things take patience and dedication, which I love with work. Which I love about working with older people. They don't really get caught up in needing too much motivation. They just need a few examples. Um, if you like I always say, if you have to at your age, you have to decide what area of tech do I want to be in the next 6 months, and then what are the exact things I need to do to get there. And I guarantee you, as a self-taught person, aside from going to college, which by the way is a whole nother conversation, because people coming out of college still going to have to go get certifications and still having trouble and still having to join boot camps because their degree didn't get them the job guaranteed that they were sold that it would do. But find out exactly what it takes to get there. And what you're going to find out is it doesn't take much, just dedication. Especially specifically, and I don't care if you go into software engineering, I don't care if you go into cloud engineering, I don't care if you go into DevOps, I don't care if you go into technical account manager, I don't care if you go into IT project management. Um, you, it's always going to be this basis, the basis of these four things. And I kind of speak on these all the time, but I always have to keep saying it. Um, get your the certification that matters. Well, once you identify the tech role that you want, go find the dominant certification that those companies are looking for. Do 3 projects based off of 5 job boards that you find. Meaning, if go to look through your objectives and write down the top 3 common objectives that you see the job boards that you looked at, what they're looking for as far as the objectives they want the person to do, and do those in the project. Once you do those objectives on your own project, you're then able to add those objectives to your resume, and that does 2 of 1 things. One, it gives you work experience. It gives you real project experience, which counts as work experience. Two, it gets picked up by the ATS system of these job boards. So when these recruiters do 2 things. They post the job on Indeed or LinkedIn or whatever job board site, and then they also contact the resumes that they see posted on these job sites as well. So when your resume is being picked up by the ATS system, guess who the recruiters are going to see whose resume near the top, because it fits exactly with those objectives of what those employers have been looking for. Bing! Persons like you. So it'll make them inquisitive. Now you have to keep in mind, you mostly want to apply for roles that are even that are no experience to about 2 years of experience. In my boot camp, it's always safe to do at least 2 years experience because of how so much I pour into you and how many skills you obtain in my boot camp. But um, Indeed literally just produced this new functionality of their website where you can apply for jobs that and filter it out by no experience. And literally, I did the experiment with a few of my students this week because I'm always looking out for them. And I found jobs within their scope. Even Home Depot was hiring for like a systems engineer. And I forgot the pay. I think the pay was anywhere between, I think it was between like 65 to about 85,000, 87,000, something like that. And it literally said the requirements were you had to be 18 years old and you had to have some type of interest in learning or something like that, like interest in learning technical skills or some jargon like that. Those were literally the only two requirements. And I had the responsibilities and all that listed and had its preferred I forgot the exact term, but it said preferred abilities. But and then the qualifications literally had those two items. So like jobs are now like becoming companies becoming so much more desperate now to acquire tech talent, and they're understanding the gaps out there, the learning gaps and these access gaps as far as how job boards are created. Um, that they put that they're starting to get more conscious of how they apply what they're exactly looking for on the qualifications. And Home Depot is one of those companies. So that's just an example to show you like um, yeah, those possibilities are out there for you no matter your age. Like it's possible. The process is always the same for a person that's 54 to a person that's 24. Is find out what you want to do, it role you want to get exactly. My boot camp is for those who exactly want to do cloud engineer or cloud security engineer. But if there's a plethora of other roles you can get into, get your cert, the cert that matters. All right. Get to do the three projects and then update your resume and your LinkedIn and start applying for those roles. It's literally those 5 phases. So if you can do that within 2 to 3 months, tops 3 months, you really starting to procrastinate. If you can get all that done within 2 to 3 months, I would say by your 6th month, if you're just doing the last remainder of the 3 months, just literally applying for roles and interviewing for jobs and continuously tweaking your resume until it's hitting and tweaking your interview skills until they hit. And then when you get that offer letter by your 6th month, maybe your 7th, boom, the the the, the rest of the world is yours. I always say the hardest you're going to ever work in tech is landing your very first tech role. That's the hardest you're going to work, and that's included when you're in the actual tech roles. I've never worked as hard as I did when I was trying to get my first cloud engineering role. All right, let's see what else. My bad, y'all. Yeah, I know I could be a little bit loquacious. I'm off that drink a little bit. What I'm saying, having fun. My partner's here. You know, Lawrence Coles. Oh, you follow Lawrence too, Key? Miss Jones? Yeah, 46. I mean, OG, man. I found funny thing is I found him on TikTok early before he started gaining all his followers. I mean, he still had a lot. When I followed him, he probably had like 6 to 8,000 followers. And we used to follow each other and love each other's content. And that's when I spent the large amount of time on TikTok. And then we collaborated, and I asked him, can I interview him? He said, of course. And then from there, we just built a bond. And on every platform, we kind of support each other, especially me more supporting him, as he's taking off. So I love what he's representing. What are my thoughts? Darnell asks, what are my thoughts on becoming an IM specialist? Beautiful question. So, Darnell, first, what you drinking? I got to know what you're drinking. Omar, what you drinking? Um, so IM specialist is basically identity access management specialist. Big opportunity. Big opportunity. I always tell, and this is why I kind of laugh when I see all these. I want to be in cybersecurity posts. And these come be a cybersecurity engineer, get cybersecurity training posts. So funny to me because in cloud security, there's a breakdown of multiple roles, such as the prominent IM role. The IM role is a security role. It's technically a security role because you're responsible for creating who has access to a company's tech environment, and to what level they have access to. Well, who has access? What do they have access to? And then to what level or degree do they have it access to? Some call it. I think the term is PIM, which is what permission. Permission. I forget what the I always forget what the I's for, but I forget what the I's for. But it's permission and management, permission implementation management. I want to say, oh, don't quote me on that, but it is PIM. But anyway, I am so learning things like AWS. I am learning things like Azure. Um, what it is called now, Microsoft ID entry, basically Microsoft Active Directory. I think it's called entry ID, but learning Microsoft Active Directory, things like the or even Google AI IAM, like getting really proficient at IAM can you can literally walk in anywhere and be a specialist and make really good money. I interviewed for a role, matter of fact, with it was a big Fortune 500 company. I'm not gonna say the name. Met a cool brother I interviewed with, and it was specifically for IAM role. And now with IAM, there's more to just the identity access management portion. You do need to learn about IDP, identity provider, and which is basically like OAuth, like what are the other third parties off the top of my head? I can't think right now. But the identity providers are basically the third parties that when you get your set up your multi authentication, your two MA. Ooh, my brain is going. But multi authentication. When you set that up on your phone, you know, if you try to log in from a different device and access your Google account that says, "Are this you?" Check this button, hit this button if this was you, or if you're at work and you have to log in on things, and you have to also check your phone and either call, respond to a text, or go into an app like a Microsoft Authenticator or whatever. Those are all like third party. Those are IDP softwares. So those are connected to your IAM profile that's located within the company's um, IAM stack. So they can either have it where it's all cloud based, or they have some where it's on premise, especially if it's in an Azure environment. Some are on premise, some are in the cloud. I should notice. I usually would know this stuff off the back where I am, but anyway, I say all that to say, I am is gold. So if you're going to security route, if you're going in cloud security in particular, IAM is something you want to look out for. And it's great that when you want to go into cloud security, you will even identify what area of cloud security. Do you want to do incident response in cloud security? Do you want to do where you're chasing down firewall entries from viruses or attacks trying to occur to your firewall, which is the blue team in security? Do you want to go at an IAM route? Do you want to go into consulting for security? There's so many ways and so many things, but IAM specialist, key, key. A great place to start. I'm gonna say this last point. Azure has you get your S3 SC 300 certification, and you get your AZ 500 certification, and combined makes you a security architect. With that security architect certification, you can damn near work in any company. Of course, you know, doing your projects, or even, you know, well, let's say you don't have any experience, but with that cloud security architect, Azure cloud security architect certification, you could damn near walk in any company and get at least get your resume looked at. If you just have that Azure architect security certification on your resume, at least by bare minimum, they'll look at your resume, because that Azure cert is powerful. SC 300 is a great tool to put you towards IAM specialist. Did that help? I know I kind of went long on that one, but I'm gonna try to go shorter. But y'all know when I drink, I'm already loquacious. When I start drinking this stuff and having a good time, man, this is what I do. So hopefully that made sense to you, Darnell, if you're still here. Because you're like, man, this man can talk. All right. Please say more about the non-experienced options on the D. Oh, yeah. So just one thing, yeah. If you're going on D and you type in, you know, you look when you do a job search, and they usually search by experience. It used to be entry level, mid level, and then senior. And then it started going from like 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years, etc. Well, now they have an option where it says no experience, which is great. So any job sector you look by, you search by, you have that filter option to say no experience. All the jobs that don't require any experience, or at least supposed to not require any experience, are posted. So that gives you a great advantage for those just breaking into tech and you have your certification and you've done at least 3 projects. These jobs descriptions are insane. They want, yeah, stop listening. Yeah, master's degree. Yeah, and I have a video about that. Maybe I need to make another one more in depth. But I hear that so often. Y'all gotta stop. And this is something I had to learn when I was breaking into tech. You gotta learn. And even when I got laid off my first time, that was a story. Man, I'm telling you, be getting laid off in tech can be a damn come up. I'm just gonna say that because them severance packages that you can obtain. But money management is key. Don't go getting your first tech role. You making close to 6 figures, or you get your second tech role and you start making 6 figures, and you start spending like you make 6 figures. You got to keep spending like you used to make 40,000. All right, money manage your money. So I won't put that out there, but yeah, just job description. Look at the qualifications first when you go to a job. Does it require a degree you do or don't have? Does it require certifications you do or don't have? If you go to qualifications and it doesn't require a degree and you don't have a degree, or it requires a certification you do have or you don't have, and then you read over the job objectives, just skim over them. Don't go into deep detail, but skim over them. If you can identify at least 30 to 35% of those objectives, apply. All right. And here's why I say that: you have to stop doing the recruiter's job and the hiring manager's job. If they poorly put out a job board, you make them disqualify you. Don't disqualify yourself. All right. Always, make them do their job and disqualify you. But don't never disqualify yourself. If you feel you can do 30, because realistically, and I talk about this with my tech buddies all the time, they're only gonna have you doing 20% of what the job board is required is wanting you to do as its responsibilities anyway. You're not going to touch even most of the things that they have as responsibilities on this job board. You're going to get caught up in projects or troubleshooting or debugging that you're not going to have time, and the company's not even going to have time to have you explore all the details of your job you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't work like that. So the job boards are always a wish list. Somebody told me that a long time ago, and I've always seen that to be true. Job boards, when companies post them, are wish lists. They wish they had a candidate that fit even 70% of what they were looking for. So yeah, that's my advice for that. Loquacious is good. Okay, cool. He said, look, loquacious. He said, drink some brown. I usually do, but listen, it's been a day and I had this in the car already, and I was like, man, I didn't finish this from last week. I'm gonna finish this probably not tonight. I promise I'm not gonna do it tonight, but I'm gonna finish this week, and then I got brown coming. Usually do Crown Royal. I like to do Crown Royal with a Sprite. Anytime I'm doing something social, I'm out at the bar with the bros. I'm at the strip club. I'm somewhere where I got to be a little social. I'm gonna do or cigar bar. I'm gonna do. Well, the cigar bar is different, but I'm gonna usually do Crown Royal and Sprite. That's my go-to anytime I'm out and about. But when I'm at home, I drink around family and kinfolk. I drink the real good stuff. She said Crown Royal is old school. Oh, you ain't listen. My mom got a funny joke, but it's so true because she know me. My favorite drink up until about 3 years ago, literally from like 23 up until like 31, my favorite drink was is it's called something Excel. No, it's a brown. Called it's an old drink. It's an old drink. Not it's not Jack. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head, but it's an old drink. It's an old folks drink. Something they used to drink back in like the 50s and 60s. But it's my favorite. It was my favorite, but they had an XO version of it. I used to drink it all the time. And it's bottom shelf. It's bottom shelf. E&J. There you go, Ken. Ken, you've been following me for a minute. E&J. Exit. Yep, there you go. E&J has an XO. Amazing. That's my drink, man. I don't drink it that much now because it's gonna tear my system up. But boy, in my 20s into my early 30s, Oh yeah, ENJ. I'm an ENJ shorty. All right. What's the best way to learn Active Directory on your own? Good question. So so best way to learn Active Directory is to Google uh, Azure Active Directory projects. Um, because and keep in mind you're going to need a Windows laptop to make things your life easy. I have a Mac and an M1 at that, and downloading VirtualBox for an M1 is a headache and a half. So and the reason I say that is because you have to have a Windows OS in order to download Active Directory. Now, there's another alternative. You can run Active Directory in a Azure. What is Azure's workspace? Forget the name of Azure Virtual Desktop. You can run it in Azure Virtual Desktop for like pennies on a dollar, or you can run it in Amazon workspaces for like again pennies on a dollar, and you can practice your Active Directory skills there. They both have Directory projects. In fact, funny, AWS just purchased $1 billion worth of Microsoft 365 applications from uh, Amazon. Just purchased that from Azure from Microsoft to use it in their work space, Amazon workspace environment. But yeah, just Google Active Directory projects for Azure or for AWS. Make sure when you're doing projects that you're always doing them focused around the cloud environment you want to start your career in. And here's why. Just because you start your career in one sector doesn't mean that you're going to remain in that sector, even in your first role or throughout the duration of your career. I started off in AWS. My first role, I was doing eight. I was doing about 70% AWS and the remaining 30% Azure environment. I didn't know anything about Azure. Azure is actually brand new. We did AWS predominantly until Azure came out. Actually, I was working when Azure first came out, and we started having clients that were based out of Azure, and I was learning on the job. Same thing. No company is going to expect you to come in and be a multi-cloud expert. They're expecting you to come in with strong skills in one cloud first. And as you're going to learn by doing the work, they're all fundamentally the same. Serve just the terms of the services are different. The types of the depth of the service they deliver are different, but fundamentally all cloud providers are the same. So start off with what cloud do I want to start in, and then boom, where can I learn Active Directory in that environment? How to set up Active Directory. I had a student in my last boot camp, cloud security student. She had to create a PowerShell script that would populate Active Directory, populate 5,000 users within Active Directory in Azure. And that was a great project, and it's on her resume now. So now it counts as experience, and she has the actual skill to replicate that task on a job. So that's how you can practice Active Directory. Hopefully, it answers your questions. How old am I? I'm 34. 34, big 3-4. I'll be 34, 35 next year, March 1st. Am I in Houston? No, I'm in the city, man, Atlanta, man. You know, we still south with it. You feel me? We still south, but I'm definitely in Atlanta. Why you keep deleting your messages, Omar? You running from the feds or something? You got a warrant. I'm old enough to be with your mom, girl. Listen, during my single days, I would have a clever response for that. But now that I'm a kept man, you know, I gotta. I'm gonna let that comment slide. You feel me? I'm gonna let that slide. My mom. That's funny. Shout out to my mom, by the way. Shout out to Miss Brown. Azure Active Directory. I'm old. 54 is young, man. You know what I always used to say, especially when I had older clients. I was like, if you think your age is, if you think 54 is old now, wait till you turn 74. You're gonna look at 54-year-olds in jealousy, like, wow, because when you 74, your lip always tremble for no reason. You're gonna be like, look at him over there, or her over there, still got hair on the head, still can sit down without help. So age is always perspective based. All right, so Azure Active Directory projects good. Have an extra brand new Windows, beautiful. Yeah, man, you got to put that laptop to use. You can do so much stuff on Windows for newbies, especially in Azure environments. Working with the Mac is great in a lot of ways, but man, it's a pain when you're trying to work with when you try to collaborate with other plugins or other applications that are predominantly Windows based. It's such a pain. Any thoughts where I can get some IM projects? Google IM projects. AWS has some. Again, Azure has some. Google has some. What cloud environment do you want to start in? Is a question. But they have those IM projects by the. You can YouTube IM projects plethora out there, and IM isn't hard to learn. The part is you have to develop the you have to develop the repetition of how to configure IAM to where basically you as a user can access your network from a different device or from a VPN based off the credentials of your user and your user based off of that role and that role based off of the permissions and that also and then configure all that through the IDP provider that I talked about earlier. Like I said, a popular one is OAuth, another popular one is Okta, another popular one is Microsoft Authenticator. Like configuring it through those apps, and boom, you've configured IAM for yourself to be able to access your environment anytime from any device. And then boom, get better at it and start limiting where you can access your device from. So if you're at a Starbucks down the street, or you're even at home and you want to deny yourself from being able to log into that environment from home, you have to configure those permissions first, set those variables, set those conditions, and practice, denying yourself access at different points. Again, that's security. Your IAM, you're building yourself to become an IAM specialist, but it's still all in the realm of security. But boom. And then once you get those projects, 3 projects on your belt, start going for your certification. You can go and AWS, I would say go for AWS security if you wanted to become an IAM specialist. Again, it's great. I'm glad you said it because these specialty roles, specialty careers pay a lot and they don't have a lot of competition. Don't have a lot of people going after these roles because they don't know they exist. A lot of people want to go for the solutions architect and want to become a solutions architect. No, you not. No, you're not about to walk into a senior level role with no experience. No, not not in most cases. All right. But if you go into like AWS specialty certifications like security, like networking, whew, networking is key. If I could tell everybody to get one certification, I can just close my eyes and I don't even know what you want to do. I would say just get your networking plus certification. Miss Jones, is you here? Oh, you about to leave us, Miss Jones? Look, that sounds like a message like you about to dip. But yeah, am I making sense of them, Miss Jones? I know you already in the industry, but or you transitioning over, but you already got your AI company. But I'm just hope I'm making sense to y'all. But all right, Miss Jones, it was great having you, man. I really appreciate your love. You kept me company until the squad got here, until the rest of the tribe got here. So I appreciate you. Reach out to me anytime, anytime. Um, all right. Let me see what else. If you have a foundation and one they're confident, absolutely, absolutely. Foundations matter. Yep, yep, yep. I appreciate that. No limit. What's happening? What you drinking? What you sipping on? No limit. Oh, we got about like 8 more minutes. Then we get off. Database specialty. All right. All right, Omar. Hopefully you don't delete this message. You know what I'm saying? You've been deleting messages all day. You might be one of my exes. No, just fine. But so I'm glad you said that. I love having these conversations. We talk about getting into these specialties roles because this is where the money at. This is where the money at, and this is where the real quick opportunities are. Getting into these specialties because these companies are really intrigued by specialty candidates coming in. Oh my God, database. So you got Postgres SQL, you got Aurora database, you got Oracle database. So I'm gonna just say this: if you can pick one again, so I always say pick one cloud provider. I don't care if it's Oracle Cloud, all right? Pick one cloud provider you want to start to build your foundation in. It's two, if you want to go into database engineering, which I do recommend. I met a brother a couple weeks ago, actually, who's a database engineer out of Charlotte, a black brother. Oh man, beautiful older brother too. Older brother doing great work. But anyway, um, you go and Do 3 projects where you're doing a few things. One, you want to have one project where you're building the database from scratch. All right. And then you have all this fake data that you're inputting into the database. So you're building one cloud database from scratch. Then you want to be able to build a database that's a hybrid model, meaning that it's an on-premise database, but you can access it via the cloud. All right. And I'm not going to dare dive into those details because that's really technical, but it's so cool once you do it. Three, you want to do a migration project when it comes to a database. You want to migrate your database from on-premise to the cloud. That and you want to do that actually a couple. You want to put it on your resume a one time or two, but you want to do that a couple of times so you get really good at it to the point where you can log into a database and configure your the firewall rule that will allow you to have a connection from the cloud provider being able to reach the on-premise database and being able to absorb the data and install an agent on the database that collects the data and then transfers the data to that cloud database. Huge data. In fact, the role that I'm gonna tell you a little secret. I haven't told nobody else, but I'm working on a I'm working on a role right now. I'm interviewing for a role right now, and one of the primary responsibilities is they want me to do these cloud migration projects, and I know a lot of them are going to deal with databases. Big money opportunity in there. I mean, there's just like where I am in analysts, I am engineers. There's companies out there just strictly looking for database engineers. All right. Man, I can't talk enough about it. And then you want to get your database certification, especially in Azure Cloud. Azure has Azure 400 is a database administrator certification, really good certification. I studied for a little bit, but then I didn't need the certification after a while, so I kind of dropped from my studies for it. But I tried to take advantage of the month that Azure was giving away free certifications, and Azure database was one of the ones, but you had to complete it within 4 weeks, and I just ran out of time. So I just like, all right, this was cool. I'll pick it up in the future if I need be. But database engineering, man, good money. You hear me? You can come in being a database administrator with no experience making between 70, 75, 80,000, 85, and with no tech experience. Just how your certs and no work experience, but experience like those projects on your resume are experience. But like having no background tech experience, you weren't a tech anywhere, you weren't help desk anywhere, you weren't working for a database anywhere, you can come walk in fresh and be a data engineer somewhere or a junior database engineer, some administrator somewhere, making good money, getting all that good learning. Because database engineering is going to be around for as long as there's data. It's going to always be in high demand. SQL. I was just about to say that if you're going to dive into SQL, make sure you learn the language of that database model. So if you're dealing with MySQL, then you need to learn SQL query. There's a great app that's free called Memo where you can, and I took it. I was learning it because I was doing it. I had when I was in Germany, I was an Azure administrator actually. I was a database administrator for about 2 months, but um, I had to learn SQL. You got to learn SQL. You need to be able to hit what select means. You got to be able to query the roles and all that stuff. So yeah, it's so cool though. Database is cool. Just get in when you pick something, especially a specialty area. I say dive all the way in it. Dive into it. Like only do that and study that for the next 3 months. Only do those projects and study for that certification the next 3 months. Don't put your head up. That's another thing. When you're studying for anything in tech, don't put your head up and look at any of these articles, any of these posts about people talking about what's happening in the market or what's happening with their journey in tech or like issues or complaints they have. You ain't got time for all that. You need to be focused. When you look up 6 months, 3 months from now, and you haven't done anything and you're still in the same place, there's gonna be persons who put their head down and you see them 3 months from now, and you're like, dang, they got like 2 certifications. They don't join all these tech communities. They got the little gold thing on their LinkedIn now. They're getting all these engagement on their posts, and they got their first tech job. All because you want to keep putting your head up while you're focusing on trying to transition into tech. You got to keep your head down and stay focused. Whenever I got laid off, or whenever I was getting my first tech roles, I put my head down. I had to stop. I will unfollow anything that's negative about tech. And again, I was doing it during the time where cloud was only 25% of the market. Now it's almost half. You know, companies are basically collectively making hundreds of billions of dollars. When I was looking into it, Microsoft was the biggest one, and I don't even think they made $1 billion out of it yet. So it was brand new when I was coming in. So and you know there was no faith, little to no faith that it would be around, and I was still putting my head down. I said I'm gonna still make this work for me, and boom, it worked for me. So and I looked up and I the other people that I told about it about my journey and told them they need to get on this train and start learning cloud and get this. Back then, all you had to do was get an AWS practitioner certification. I told them, look, you need to get this cert that I start studying. They ignored me. I looked up. I got my cert. Boom. A week later, literally after I got my cert, boom, I got my first job offer. Okay, cool. I'm still telling my folks. Then I left. I came back after probably 2 years. I was in my second tech role, making six figures plus. Walked into that same old job that I was in, and saw and all most of the people. Some people had left and quit or got laid off or whatever. But most of the same core people were still there that I told about the tech roles. 2.5, just 2.5 years later, I had more than triple everybody's salary and experience and exposure and opportunities that also came with that. I just living my and I didn't come in braggadocious at all. Still came in wanting to help. Still came in and said, "Hey, you need to do this. You know, consider this. Not you need to do, but hey, consider doing this. Looking at that. I'm doing this on this end. I see it on this side on what's happening and what companies are investing in. Blah 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 blah." I'm like still telling them like, hey, giving them advice. Only one person reached out, and I'm still made the move. You know, so it's like that's what I mean by you got to put your head down and just focus on what's on your plate during your transition phase because most people aren't going to understand it and they're not going to believe it until you make it believable, until you complete the mission. And even when you complete the mission, to be honest with you, they're going to doubt that it's possible for themselves to make that same transition, even if you were originally in the same position as them. So all right, man. So one more question, I'm gonna get off. She said, not saying I'm glad. No, I'm just saying I'm glad because all right, I appreciate that, Miss Jones. Appreciate that. All right, Microsoft, yep, pay good. Somebody asked one more question. I start that. Oh, good, Kenya. Good, 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 good. Network Plus, good. I'm glad you put a date on it. That means you're really real about it. That's my problem. I want to do too much. Yeah, don't do too much. Chasing the red ball. I learned that in business early on when I used to do my early coaching. You can't go chasing the red ball. You gotta stay your course and play your game. So all right, y'all. Appreciate all the love. That's all y'all got for me tonight. That's all I got for y'all. Appreciate y'all joining on as usual. If you could just share this video with your friends, share it with the group, your groups. Miss Kenya, thank you for sharing it with that group last week. If y'all have any questions, also if you want the special treat, as always, let me put my got a special discount for you. Boot camp. For the special discount. Boot camp starts. Well, it starts in January, but enrollment ends. Did I put that in right? Yeah, enrollment in or put the ad tag the anyway the page. The enrollment ends the 30th, which is next week. But if you want to qualify for the special discount I have for those who attended this live stream, just shoot me an email. I'll shoot you the special discount code, very very special discount code. Kenya, anybody else who received that code last week, are you happy with the code? Did I do right by you? Was I fair? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just shoot me an email, and I'll get that back to you. All right, y'all. Oh Ray, I see you, bro. What's happening, bro? What's happening, Ray? My bad, bro. I ain't been to ignore you, bro. I got caught up with talking and Omar deleting comments, so I was caught up between that. So, um, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I always like to check to make sure. You know what I'm saying? It's sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself when I'm sending emails and sending out responses and stuff. It's always great to get feedback. Good. All right, cool. So, all right, y'all. So I'm out of here. I appreciate this again. Subscribe, He says cool, bro. That's my bro, Ray. I can't wait to start with you, man. We're gonna have fun, bro. Um, uh, but yeah, the next week I'm gonna do this one more time next week. This is my last time doing it every week. I don't know. Who knows? I might do these every. Who knows? Who knows? I like doing these, man. Um, but I definitely got to find a good time to do it. Matter of fact, comment below what time you think I should do these streams that are more convenient for y'all. All right, that'll probably help me make a best decision on how to conduct these streams because I do have fun doing them, and I think y'all get a lot out of it, which is most important. Why I do it. So, all right, y'all. I'm getting out of here. Y'all be great. Remember, you had what it took the entire time. Be great.